Be quiet for a second. I can't hear you at all, Aaron. Oh, we're on. Yay! What's up, guys? It's Kate. This is Date Fails. We're here at All Things Comedy again. It's the same day as last time. I'm wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
Jack, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Like
Match the shoes and the shirt.
Yeah, you can't see his shoes. Jack came in with some kind of white substance. No one knows what it is on his mustache. So, what happened today? Did you blow somebody on the way here?
It's called the chapstick. Okay.
Okay.
Because I blew somebody.
Good one, Jack. Good one, Jack. You guys, I'm excited about my guest today. God, I can't believe you haven't done it yet, actually.
Neither can I.
I've known you how long? How long have we known each other?
I've known you. Well, I remember the first time I talked to you, which was at that bar.
The Den?
The Den, when I was on cocaine. The last time I did cocaine. And
nuh-uh, you were not.
Yes, I was.
Well, I have some cocaine now.
That was May. It was because it was what's his face's birthday. I'm not going to name names, but he had a birthday party at the W on the rooftop, and that was the last time I did cocaine.
That was Dre's back then.
Was that no? I don't know. Was that what the club was called?
Wait,
okay, but
whose birthday was it?
I can't say because I'm not gonna. I'll tell you off air.
That's fine.
Great way to start, guys.
Condoleezza Rice, guys.
Yeah.
It was Condoleezza Rice. I was at,
yes, Condoleezza. That was a great party. Lots of blow. Oh my God, that's right. Okay, wait. I knew you. So first of all, my guest today. God, you're a comedian. Now you're like a executive producer.
Thank you very much.
And he's got a new podcast called The 500 with Josh Adam Meyers. I want to talk about, guys. Josh Adam Meyers.
Hi, everybody.
Woo!
It's long overdue to be here with the two of you.
I know. Now I do remember that night because
I threw game strong.
You did not throw game.
Yes, I did.
I don't remember it like that at all.
Because that was when I was like, "Who's this Kate Quigley girl?" I was like, because I started seeing you on flyers, and I was like, you're. Obviously, you're beautiful. So it was just like, and you were doing well, and so that was the first meeting.
What year was this?
I remember our
2014, May 2014.
That's 5 years ago.
Yep.
Is it real? Was it really?
I'll remember that, and then we talked again after that at the Hollywood Improv.
But see, I remember it so differently because I remember meeting you as actually this is how I ended up kind of liking you because I knew who you were. I thought you were cute the first night we met, and then I remember you saying like not to do all the hot photos I was posting, not to do the bikini photos, which is something that like every guy in comedy would say to me, like don't post all
That's
this
so
hot
rude
stuff
of me
with
that I would say that.
No.
To think back about that now, I apologize.
No, it's okay. But the reason I ended up liking you, because when anyone would say that to me back then, I would just kind of go, yeah, I get it. Like every guy says this.
Yeah, just DM them to me.
Right? I mean,
Send them private.
Costco, baby. I want them in bulk.
Yeah, but then the reason that I liked you was because I remember you then later being like, I shouldn't have said that. That was stupid. I didn't, whatever. What I like about you is you're really open. Like you aren't one of those people that like can't apologize or can't admit if you think you were wrong. Like, and that to me is like a really good quality. So it didn't bother me.
I think that, for me, when I met you, that was like right at the time where I was realizing the things that I could say have some sort of an impact, and people listen to what you say sometimes. It's stupid that they do. So, thinking back now, if I apologize then, I'm very happy.
Oh, that's okay.
No, I'm very happy, but it's just, that's never somebody's place to tell somebody what to do with what they want to do.
Yeah, but you were saying it from a place of like, I think you were genuine. I think anytime someone would say that to me, usually it was coming from a place of genuine, like they thought, oh, this could hurt your career. Like you were saying it in a way to be nice. You weren't trying to be like an asshole about it.
No, I can never be. I love you.
I know. I love you too.
Oh my God. Should I leave? I want to leave.
All right, Jack, you can go. Just kidding. But anyway, and then I do remember seeing you at the Improv. We always meshed.
We're meshers.
We're
dude.
meshers.
Yeah.
We're meshers. Me and Jack too, but it's different.
Yeah.
Like Jack, I want to murder half the time.
Yeah, me too.
But in a good way. I take Jack on the road with me. I used to let Jack stay in my room.
Yeah.
On the road.
How was that?
I had to kick him out eventually.
Yeah, she's a vegan.
No, I'm not. He gets up so fucking early.
Yeah.
He gets up at like 6
I get up at
a.m.
6
Well, that's good, actually.
I do
That's
shit.
what you're supposed to. That's what I get up.
Ew,
and-
it's terrible. You're a comedian.
Yeah,
What
but
are you doing?
I go to bed every night at 11 p.m., 11 and 12, and then I wake.
Do you really?
Unless I have like a late spot, I'm usually in bed between 11 and 12, and I wake up around 7 at the latest.
Yeah.
How do you fall asleep that early?
I just did literally. I'm at the age now at 39 where once I lay down, I'm out. It's just what happens.
Watch
naturally.
Netflix comedy specials and knock out.
I have the hardest time sleeping. I cannot sleep. Like I try everything. I took melatonin, Xanax, Ambien, edibles.
You're just amped. You have your energy is just like super like you're just like going, and that's why you're successful.
She's
you
always
work and you work.
working.
Yeah,
like,
you are.
When we were in Florida, I kept looking over. I'm like sleeping. I wake up in the night. She's like on her phone. Like I'm like, dude,
I can't help
put
it.
the phone down.
I forget who I was talking to you about when I said they asked me what I was doing today, and I mentioned I was doing your podcast, and they were like, "That fucking girl works, man. Like you're."
That's sweet.
Yeah, so it's
So do you.
Yeah, but I think like there's different like the working that you do and the working that I do. Like I work literally from home. Like everything I do is just working at home, and then when I go out and do spots, it's like I show up, I do my shit, and I'm fucking out. Like that's my goal, is to work harder at home. And then when I go out, it's this. But I've also been doing this, 11 years now. I have a dog, and I don't want to do anything.
Your dog, you love your dog
more than anything.
I
in
know,
the world.
it's so cute.
More than
it's
anything.
like a child.
I love that dog. I didn't want to leave. I was like getting ready to leave. Usually I'm at home this whole time, and it was just tough, man.
It was tough to leave
terrible.
the dog?
I know. No, I just love her, man. I love her to death. Like
You could have brought her.
I thought about that, but Lekka would be. She's just it depends on her energy. Like I ran her today, but she could. It's a Doberman, everybody. So it's a 70-pound.
His
Doberman
dog is
pinscher.
huge.
She's,
miniature.
No. She's big.
Oh.
She's
Didn't you bring
70-pound
your-
man? Would be the fattest fucking dog in the world.
Like
Jack.
Amir K's dog.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard.
I haven't seen Amir's. What is Amir's?
Amir's dog is like the wiener dogs.
Oh, that's right.
it's
Yeah, I did
really
see Amir's.
fat.
That's right.
Just no exercise.
I
Just a
forgot
little
about
crab
that.
cake. Yeah.
Wait, you brought your dog to Brad Williams' house that one time, didn't you?
I did.
And him and your dog and his dog, I thought they were gonna like kill each other. It was like when animals attack.
In all honesty, it's his dog. It's not my dog.
Really?
Like I have. So all right. So you guys have known me for a long time, and I think when I got Lekka, knowing I was getting a Doberman, I wanted to make sure I showed everybody how much change has gone on in my life by making this dog perfect. So I hired a dog trainer. Like I spent a lot of money. I love talking about money I spent, but I spent a lot of money.
I give Josh so much shit because every time I see him, I'm like, "How's life?" He's like, "I'm making so much money." I'm like, "Stop talking about money."
It's so stupid. It's just, but literally, I wanted to make sure that dog was an extension of me. So I hired a dog trainer, and I worked her. Also, when I got her, I was very depressed and I was isolating, so I wasn't leaving the house. This is after the show taped. So that was when I was just like, I literally didn't do spots, just stayed inside.
After the goddamn comedy jam?
After the goddamn comedy jam.
Why were you depressed?
Because I hadn't dealt with losing my friend Angelo, and I was sober, but I wasn't doing anything to fix myself. I was just not using. And I was depressed. So I was dating a girl that was depressed, and so we just stayed inside and we didn't do anything. And then I got the dog, and once I broke up with that girl, that was when I was like, okay, now I'm able to go out and be myself. And then I started working on myself and doing all the meditation and the fucking self-help books and all the LA.
Me too. That's what I've been doing the last year.
Really?
Yeah, that's all I've been doing. I feel I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Good.
I'm so happy.
Well, we talked not too long ago, and you were saying things about how you're focusing on yourself, and I remember that was a definite change in how you had been before.
I think that there is a point in this business for anyone who's in it, because this business can make you nuts. It can there's so many highs and lows and plateaus, and so much. And if you're not doing drugs, the adrenaline of this business is the same. It's just, I feel like if you don't work on yourself at some point, you won't last.
No,
you'll go crazy.
Everybody has their moment.
Yeah.
Where this town is just beating you and taking that special thing about you and just really just sheltered it and made it dimmer. Somebody said something to me once, and it was there's two things. One girl said to me, your light burns so bright, but you have it on dim.
Wow.
And that really affected me. And then
That's so deep.
That's deep as shit, dude. And then at my CrossFit gym, there was a girl. I got to talk about this because this.
You spent a lot of money at CrossFit gym.
Lots.
CrossFit changes lives.
It's $180 a month, guys. It's $180 a month.
That's a
But that's
lot
on
of
deal.
money.
That's on deal though. That's on deal.
That's
It would be
crazy.
$225, but everybody always wants to hook me up, so I'm 180.
Oh yeah.
But there's this Serbian girl that works out there, and she wears like all black and like rock t-shirts, and her name's Andrea, and I love her to death. She's so funny, not athletic at all. And they're having this like CrossFit.
Ouch.
They're having this. She knows it. If she heard this,
Andrea.
she would be like, "No, dude, it's literally Borat voice."
But she's at CrossFit.
She is at CrossFit, but it's a lot of people do it because it's just
because they've been suckered into the cult.
100%. They don't know, and they're now they have no cartilage in their knees. But I go to this like CrossFit. I don't call it picnic, but it was like they do like during the open, they have like every gym like shuts down at like 6:00. They don't do classes. They just have people running whatever the CrossFit open workout is, and then they record it, and they think they're being a part of this huge thing. When in actuality, it's like none of these people are athletes or going to be moving on to the regionals and then the finals.
I've heard
and all
of
that
this.
other
You
shit.
guys have like tournament.
There's a
picnic-
big there's a big one called the CrossFit Open. That's
Bring it
like,
on. Yeah, I've
that's
heard
like
of
where
it.
everybody can feel like
Yeah.
they're a part of this huge thing.
Wow.
And at the gym I go to in Hollywood, the guy that owns it makes these incredible wings from Baltimore. Okay, he makes like Baltimore style wings, so they're like wings with like Old Bay. And I do not do the open. I just show up and I literally eat 40 wings.
Is there a bouncy house at this thing?
There's no.
Because I will come.
But they all like get together. It's like fellowship afterwards, and everybody drinks. And so I hate that. That's not what. Yeah, you'd love it. Oh my god, that's all you. You'd be like,
I like that there's like a drinking part, and you're like, Kate's in.
you'd be like,
that's
"Fuck." Oh, I know. They're playing beer pong. They're having a great time.
I do like
you
beer
would
pong.
fucking. They would
I
love
don't
you.
drink beer, but I like the pong section. of
You'd
it.
be doing straight tequila. or
Tequila
whatever
pong.
The fuck. Yeah.
That's my game.
But this is what this girl says to me because I show up and I'm eating the wings, and she says to me, she goes, Joshua, you are a very interesting person. And I'm like, oh, how so, Andre? And she goes, well, sometimes you come into class and it is like you are so happy and the energy of the universe is coming through you and you are so funny and you're helping us with our lifts and you are just the nicest person I've ever met. And then she pauses, then she goes, but then other times it is like hearing the sound of our voice makes you want to put us to death in a Siberian prison. And I was like,
Wow.
fuck. And that was when I saw it. I saw that I have two different sides. When I'm not feeling good energetically, I push it onto other people. Like I turn off everything, and I just like, I don't hate these people, even though I think CrossFit's kind of douchey. They're all nice people.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
not assholes, and I show up with a chip on my shoulder. And from her saying that was the thing that made me like really analyze who I am.
That's so interesting because I have never, I'm not saying this to be nice to you
Yeah.
because you know I've been mean to you before, but I have never thought that about you ever. That your energy is ever like, you never, even if I disagree with you, I never think that you're negative or dark, or I've never gotten that vibe off you.
It was more
weird.
more internal, I guess. It was
Interesting.
but see also
Well, you're also a girl too. He's been like that
So
to
is
me.
this Siberian chick.
I probably you know what I mean one,
He's been very dark with me.
he's right, but that's the thing is that like, dude, I would go to the comedy clubs, and I mean, for the most part, we have to put on our face, and we gotta go out there, and we gotta show everybody, you know, like I'm a professional, I'm working hard, and I'm doing this, and I think most of us, regardless of how bad our lives are, can do that, but inside. You know, I was just no confidence talking to anybody, not wanting to be around, and it was because I was talking. My ego was just so strong, and it was like literally making wars with everybody. It would be like, Jack hates me. Jack doesn't like me because I ran the light, or fucking, and this person, Kate, doesn't like me because, you know, of this thing. And it was just, so I was just dealing with so much that really was just me reflecting all the stuff that I feel about myself onto other people.
Yeah.
And so when that girl said that just changed everything. That was the thing that was like, fuck, man, it's noticeable. And that started me on just focusing really on how to love myself.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't. I just didn't respect myself. I didn't respect my jokes. I didn't respect
You didn't believe in
God.
yourself.
I didn't believe in myself at all. Also, I mean, it was like I let the Comedy Central show, instead of being proud of the fact that I sold a show and it got made, I thought everybody was making fun of me because I wasn't the host, and they basically removed me from the show, and I couldn't enjoy anything.
Yep.
Isn't
that crazy though? That's what I'm saying about this bit. Like, that's the biggest lesson that I think I've had to learn in the last year, is just to not let the business cannot be what makes you happy or content, or what makes you happy has to be outside of that. It has to be internal, because it's like someone said a quote to me that I thought was so amazing, which was, this business is highs and plateaus, and the high never feels as good, or like the plateau feels so much more terrible than the feeling of success or whatever accomplishment you get when you're doing well. Like, and it's really real to me. Like, something amazing will happen and I'll be on cloud 9 about it for a couple days, but then I tend to focus career-wise on the plateau, on I'm not doing enough. This isn't happening fast enough. And that's why, like, I finally stopped, and that's why I just started listening to my body. Like, if I don't want to do a spot for 3 or 4 nights, I just don't anymore.
Yeah.
I used to scramble. I used to be like, I have to. If I miss a week of the podcast, I used to really beat myself up. Now I'm like, this week I needed it. Like, I'm just trying to listen to what's making me feel good.
Yeah.
And when people are like, what's your goal? I'm like, my goal is to be happy today.
Yeah.
I don't even think anymore
I think
about
all of us
beyond.
are really unhappy with our situation. Like 5 years ago, if I said, dude, I want to go on the road, and now I'm on the road, but now I'm just like, I want more.
Yep.
We're always bitching about something, and that's why we're never happy. We're never satisfied, because we just keep wanting to go higher and higher and higher. So we're never going to stop. So that's why we're always so fucking hard on ourselves.
I think I read this. This is something that has really worked for me now, which is they put it into perspective of, like, it's like, getting not winning something, but getting, your career, like booking something is like Christmas, right? And so think about our careers as Christmas, where you're waiting, and then you have Christmas, and then you got to start waiting again, and it's just that buildup. So just make every day Christmas, because it's the work, it's not the reward. So if you can just learn to focus on, we've made it. Keep this in mind, guys. It's
I know,
like
right?
we
It's
know,
true.
dude, we've made it.
Yeah.
We are all doing what we love every single night. We are performing for millions of people online, and then in front of us, and we're hanging out with some of the funniest people in the world. We all have our own projects. Like, that's what you need to love. So when you do get something, it doesn't affect your flow. You're already,
That's it.
You're already just constantly like, this is great. Oh, I got something great. Well, guess what? I'm excited about being able just to go do this shitty room, because we get to do that.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And trust me, it is so hard to shut off your ego and be like, that person got it and not me. But you just have to realize that it's like, that's how you're never going to enjoy this. If you ever because you are touring and I'm touring, and that's all we've ever wanted.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be Kevin Hart big, like, which I would never want.
I don't either.
I mean, I want, Kevin Hart, like,
Money.
big money. I mean, I love that.
Yeah.
But there's ways
I'm
of
the
getting,
same.
dude.
Yeah.
If I can just tour, act every once in a while, and do this
Same.
podcast, and be able to, like, have a family, have kids, because I want those, and just be, like, good, like, in the sense, pay my taxes and fucking be out of debt, and, like,
You're right, though.
that is all I want.
Me too.
Even do a little bit of volunteer work too. Fuck it.
He's right.
serious.
Be of service.
Yeah.
If you can be of service too,
Yeah.
that's huge as well. And even if, like,
I agree.
if you guys go, like, I know I see you guys do the Christmas at, like, the Laugh Factory.
Oh, yeah.
That's really helpful for those people.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like,
Or give blood. I
and-
like to give blood.
really?
That's
think
an
so, give
easy.
you-
I mean, it's just filled with, like, lime and tequila and fucking ginger ale.
Actually, the first time I went to give blood, I go give
You're
blood.
like,
with
girl, nah, we good.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, come on, hey, you want this blood? Probably wearing a bikini with floaties, I bet. Like, woo!
I actually did do that one.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
But you do have to, when you go in to give blood, one of the questions they ask you on the survey is if you've had sex with anyone who's been paid for sex in the last year. And I was like, oh, I definitely have. Like,
was that when you were with the
back then with the porn guy?
Yeah, I remember that one time we all hung out at Brad's pool, and I was just like, the whole time I was looking at him, I was like, I've seen him fuck many times.
I forgot.
I've learned a lot from this guy.
That's right. Yeah, it is actually so bad I can't watch porn anymore because like every porn I know the guy.
You met the guy?
I forgot you met him.
I met him. She brought him to Brad's like little like Memorial Day barbecue.
Was that the day the Chipotle incident happened?
No, that's a different one.
Oh my God.
What's the Chipotle incident? Now I gotta know this.
It's a whole bit I do on stage.
Oh, all right.
It's just there was a porn guy. I hooked up with more than one porn guy. There's a porn guy I hooked up with only once who, long story short, afterwards, he wanted me to take him we went out for dinner and we went to Chipotle, and when we got to Chipotle, he asked if I could pay.
They fucked first, and then they went to Chipotle.
And he was
and
not good and he was bad in bed.
That's gangster.
He wasn't even good in bed, and I had to buy his burrito, and I do a whole, but the bit is much
Does
more.
that happen a lot with you? Do you find, because you're a successful girl, and like some of the guys that you're with, even though they're successful,
they think I have more money than I do.
Yeah, but do they expect you to pay, or like, how does that work with you?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I haven't dated anybody who makes less money than me in a long time, but...
Fuck yeah, dude.
I mean, it's true.
Fucking
but there was a guy recently.
Moneybags Jenkins.
But you know, like the guys I date usually are more successful than I am. But there is a guy recently that I was texting with. That this guy is so fucking dumb, man. Because so many nights I've been buzzed and run into this guy and tried to hook up with him, and there's always something that he fucks it up somehow. So he could have just gotten free sex so many times. But. He recently, I was going to New York, and he was like, take me with you. And he always says shit like that. Like, I think he actually thinks I have money that I'm just going to like I'm going to be a sugar mama. And I was like, you can come out, but you got to buy your own plane ticket. And he was like, you make way more money than me. And when guys say that, I'm like, ugh, gross. Even if the guy's broke, it's gross for a guy to expect you to pay for him.
Or he's married. He doesn't want his wife to know the transaction on his credit cards.
Oh,
I mean, it's Chipotle. Is that really like fucking like...
Right?
That's our place.
Yeah.
Who do you go to Chipotle with? That's our place.
But also
you better go to Baja Fresh to switch it up.
I know.
You know?
The Chipotle guy also, on the way to my house.
Like, I know his work. That guy's good.
He said, I just got off work. Can I use your shower? So I know he got paid that day. So that guy made me pay for his burrito, and he
Ooh, I feel
worked
dirty right now.
I know.
But porn guys don't make money.
I can't say that because I hooked up with a porn star. I don't know if she had worked that day.
I'm sure.
Actually, well, no, you'd be surprised. You'd be
No,
surprised.
I
I've hooked up with only
6.
2.
I remember who.
22. Who?
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Only 2?
I remember one time you brought one to the club.
Or
she might have been a stripper.
No, she was in Playboy. It was when this girl Tess. I met her. This is a long time ago, but she was gorgeous. But
I love her.
Not Tessa.
Oh,
not Tessa.
Wrong girl.
It's a different one.
I like
Tessa. Tessa was great.
Yeah,
Tessa is fantastic, and we still keep in touch every once in a while. We just weren't right for one another. Like
right.
There's no, there was. We just wanted different things, and it's unfortunate because I really enjoy spending time with her, but. You know, it was just one of those things, man. Like she was 24, 25, 23, whatever when we met, and when I was with her, I was unfocused on my career, and that I can't have that in a relationship.
It's so hard to be in a relationship when you're also like really working on your career. Like I feel like you might get to a point where you're successful enough to where it doesn't have to be your full focus.
Yeah.
But for me, even right now, like there's been a couple guys I start seeing that I like, but I just can't give them the time they want. Like they want a relationship, like a real one. I just don't have time right now.
Well, let's ask this question. What is a real relationship, and like what needs to be done? Because I think that you can be a boyfriend, girlfriend and be in a relationship, but only spend, 2 days a week. You don't have to hang out every night.
But even 2 days a week is a lot.
Yeah, but I think there are nights that we can just go and do a spot and come home.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
like, dude,
true.
we're not done that late. That's what I want right now. Like, I have cut off all promiscuous sex. And that's not saying if a girl that's very attractive, but that's the thing. If they came up and,
Josh
and
is
we
like,
were vibing.
disclaimer, I will fuck you if you're hot enough.
I'm a man and I still have needs, but I'm not out seeking it anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Me
I'm not like thinking. I used to think about it nonstop, and that was like literally all that was on my brain from like 18 until
now. Just kidding.
no. I'd say no.
I'm kidding.
Probably about you're almost right. Like probably about like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then and now it's so like. If I did hook up, it would just be this. I'm vibing with her. She's vibing with me. We can tell. That's going to be very quick and very fun.
Very quick.
You know what I mean? Quick in the idea of I'm not going to stay up until 4 in the morning trying to get ass. That's what I'm saying.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
If
No,
I'm
not.
having a random one time, he better stay up.
Till 4?
Fuck
To
that.
fuck?
If it's going to be one time, see, that's the difference for me. I feel like if it's going to be a one time thing, it better be like mind blowing. If it's like one and done and he like passes out, then I'm like, what a waste.
If it's one and done, we don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but as a girl,
Unfortunately, right.
that to me
Bye.
is like a trip to the spa. I'm like, I want the full package.
If we're gonna hang out again, we're putting it down.
The last
That's
real
true.
hookup I had, which is what started all this, which was probably about 8 months ago. I'd say maybe 8. Almost, I don't even know. I feel like maybe it's coming up on a year, but I did a show, and this the next day I got a message on Instagram, and it was this very beautiful girl. And she was like, hey, I saw you last night. I think you're great. I'd love to hang out with you. And I was like, cool. And I was like, showed Byron, and Byron's like, well, you see if she wants to go out tonight after our show. And I did. And she was like, hey, let's meet. And we went to La Poubelle. And I met for I just set it up for dessert. I was like, because I had her just eat, and if you want to eat. And she was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And she shows up, and immediately after talking to her for like 10 minutes, she's like, I was like, what do you do? And she's like, well, I'm a stripper. And I just look at the waiter. I'm like, check, please. You ready to go back to my house? Because I want you to meet the dog. And
Meet the dog.
yeah,
That's
it worked. It worked. And she was like, of course.
Then she gets there and there's no dog. You're like, that's what I call my dick.
and immediately we're having sex within the first half hour of meeting.
I have never done that.
Really?
No, I've done it on the first night, but it's never like that fast. It's always like, we at least hang out for an hour or two, a couple hours, talk. And then even then I'm always like, yeah, I'm not going to fuck you. I'm not going to fuck you right up until the minute I'm fucking.
And next thing you know, you're like, grack.
Like, I can't believe I'm doing
Yeah,
this.
because I really never think I'm going to.
Do you have a condom?
I brought a
I
guy.
never do this.
Dude, I brought a guy back to my hotel room.
I never do this.
It's true though. I've only done it twice that I actually fucked a random like that. I brought a guy back to my hotel room in New York City. This is like so awful. I brought a guy back to my room in New York thinking maybe I'd hook up with him. And then once I got there, I'm like, I don't want to hook up with this guy. So then he was like, so what do you want to do?
Oh, fuck. And what did you do?
I said, you want to do a podcast?
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Could you imagine?
I mean,
Poor guy. I'm sorry.
Did he do the podcast?
No, because then once
Just
I...
a raging hard on the whole time. He can't answer anything properly because all the blood's gone down to his dick.
We kind of started, and then I was like, we're both drunk. It's a bad idea. I kicked him out.
Do you want to help me pack?
I felt
I would
really
be very
bad.
mad if that. Yeah,
I felt
it's
bad.
Well,
He couldn't be mad because I don't know. I mean, I didn't know what to do, man. I didn't want to hook up with him all night. I kind of knew I didn't want to, but then sort of I was like, maybe. I just wasn't sure. And then I didn't know till I was in the moment.
Well, you made the right decision for you at that moment. If the guy doesn't care, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? It's like you have the right to do that. So
that does suck, though. I feel bad.
I mean, yeah, dude. It would suck to be the guy.
Yeah, totally.
It would suck to be the guy.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens all the time, dude.
I know.
I'm used to it.
Right before I hooked up with that chick, I remember I was in Phoenix for the All Things Comedy Festival, and there was 2 girls that were literally like throwing themselves at me, and they were both, they were both very sexy in their own way, but I immediately, go back to their place, and they're just so like annoyingly young, and I'm not trying to shit on them because they're probably, one's like a school teacher, the other one, I think they're both school teachers, to be honest with you, and they were fun for 22, 23-year-olds for them, and And like, but we're not vibing on a conversation level.
Yeah.
Like, it is really cut and dry. Like, I'm here to fuck one of them. And eventually the one girl, I guess, just kind of, concedes, to the race. And she's like, I'm going to bed. You guys
gave up?
Yeah, she gave up. I was trying to get both.
I was just going to say that.
I was trying to get both,
Yeah.
but I got one. And so she goes into her bedroom, and then she comes out in her underwear. She's like, you can stay in my room. And I was like, let's do it. And we start making out. And then she immediately goes, let's just have sex in the morning. And I was like,
what?
That's weird.
And I was just like, oh, man. Like, and I'm not like a chauvinist. I'm not trying to be a dick. But it was obviously, yeah, dude. It was really weird. And so I go, nah, I'm just going to go.
See, I at least didn't make out. Once I make out with them, it's happening.
Totally.
But also to get naked, basically, and then
That's
come out,
weird.
and then
Why would she do that,
once
I
we
wonder?
start, I don't know. Maybe my moves are off. I don't know. Maybe I'm not good at fingering or something. I don't know.
I don't think that's it.
I have a nice penis. You know what I mean? It's not like bent. It's not like freakish. It's two colors, but I mean, it's a dick.
I've never done that. It's two colors. What are the colors?
One's
not bent.
One's white.
Ooh,
one's,
bend can be good though.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah,
But
bend is kind of great.
Yeah, mine goes to the left.
There-
It's called
what-
Captain
you,
Hook.
See, you went to the right, dude.
Seriously,
you went to the right.
bend is good.
That's like the guy's dilemma. It's like, mine goes to the left. Every girl wants to the right.
No, we want to the left. I think.
You do want to
I
the
think
left.
To the left is the way.
Yeah.
It's the way.
To the left, to the left.
Oh
My wall's on the
God.
left.
Yeah, I've never made out with a guy and then changed my mind. Like once, my problem though is like once I get turned on, it's like I'm like
it's-
feral.
yeah,
I
dude.
can't help myself. And then once I break the seal, that's the problem with not having sex for so long. And then when I do it, it's like fucking like it's all I can think about for a while after that. I just have such an addictive personality. So whatever it is.
Well, you're a very sexual person. You know what I mean? You're very open and in touch with your body.
Thank
so,
you.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all are. I think most of us all are. I mean, I know that we've all done our things. We've all had fun. I think you're supposed to do it. Like you always hear those people that get married and they're like, "How many girls you been with?" It was like, "Man, I've been with her and another girl."
That was
It's
me.
Like, yeah. So it's like this is you then exploring and finding out more about who you are and what you want. There's nothing wrong
True.
with that.
Ex-whoring.
Jack.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But I'm weird. I'm weird because I'm like a freak, but I'm so selective. Like I hardly ever, like I was just telling Jack on the last episode that Bronston and I sat down and I made a list. I counted out and it's really low. It's sadly low still.
The guys that you slept with?
Yeah, I can still remember them all.
And they all have like Grammys and Emmys and fucking
Porn awards.
AVNs, yeah.
That's something I was going to ask you actually. So you dated Brittany.
I did.
So Brittany Furlan, who just got married to Tommy Lee.
Craziest shit in the world.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about. As a
Please.
guy, what is it like to have how long did you guys date for?
3 years.
What is it like to have an ex-girlfriend who married someone like that? Is it weird? How is it?
All right, so you guys both have to understand this of how much I loved Motley Crue.
That's what I was asking.
In elementary school, because I was really into like heavy metal or hair band metal like very, very early. When I don't even know how old I am. Just to give you an idea, if any fans are out there listening, and I'm just going to so you know the timeline of when this happened. It's when Dr. Feelgood came out and Poison's Unskinny Bop was out. Just to give you an idea, because I'm watching the American Music Awards in my parents' bedroom on their little TV, and Motley Crue lost to Poison, and I started weeping.
Wow.
Like weeping. And my dad walks in, he goes, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" And I just look at him, I'm like, "They lost to Poison." And he's like, "Who died of Poison? What's going on? Who died of Poison?" And I was like, "Motley Crue." And so the idea of somebody that I was in love with, and we lived together, and regardless of how the relationship ended, we're still friends.
Right.
And I have so much love for her because she was there for me when my dad died. And because of how great she was then, regardless if we ended horribly, it's still I think there's a lot of love. I helped her with some stuff. She helped me with some stuff. We both grew up together.
You went through such a traumatic time together.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like I can look at it and I'm happy for her if they're really in love, and which I think they are, you know what I mean? But to me, it just it's only could have happened if I would have followed my dreams. The idea that somebody that I lived with and almost married is now with Tommy Lee.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it actually makes me happy.
It makes you
like,
happy?
Makes me so happy.
Oh, that makes me feel good.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going somewhere with this. Okay.
No. I am not
So it makes
jealous.
you happy.
Oh, we were so done.
But did she
we
know?
were
No,
done.
I know that.
So that is like, all I want is she's got such a big heart that all I want for her to be is just to be happy. And if she seems very, very happy right now, and I think it's ridiculous.
Oh, that's good.
It's ridiculous that it's Tommy Lee, but if he's treating her well, and I think like, dude, it's hysterical.
It's so weird, right?
Dude, it is hysterical. That is the only adjective I can think of because it's just ridiculous. Like, you know, if you would have told me, like, when I was watching the American Music Awards and crying that I was like, Britney's gonna leave me for him,
Tommy Lee.
like somebody I date. How it's just those things that's like, dude, we have the what 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like, dude, it's 1 degree.
It's insane.
It's 1 degree to get to one of my favorite bands of all time.
When I went back to Chicago for this trip, because I felt a little guilty because my ex-husband was a really big fan of the musician that I went out with.
Sure.
And I felt guilty.
A lot of people are.
But then when I went back to Chicago, it was such a surreal moment because I was like walking down Michigan Avenue towards my college, and I told Jack, I was like, it's just so weird because when I was living there, I remember going to see him play.
Yeah.
And then I'm walking down there thinking, regardless of what happened, like...
You had his dick in your hand and mouth.
Thanks, Josh. That's not where I was going.
It's crazy.
It's brought to you by.
That isn't what I was going to say. It's not about his dick. It was more about like the fact that
Who we talking about?
Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you're listening to Little Brother 4th of July when the rocket guy's ready to go. And
Is that what the song is?
That's one of the songs.
All
Yeah,
right,
that was the one
forget
that
that I
was
brought
popular.
this up. But I felt guilty. Okay, Josh, stop. Anyway, the point is, but I felt a little guilty about my ex. That's why I asked about the
Today is gonna
Josh,
be the
shut
day
up.
that they're gonna blow it back to you.
I had
It's
a question.
Oasis.
I had a question.
Yeah, but he sang that.
Yeah, whatever. Go
Is
on.
it?
Please,
I had
I'm
a question.
teasing.
When you were with your ex, were you telling her all you love Motley Crue, like you love them? Does she know that? Did she know that?
I don't know.
Like, were you playing in the shower, like playing songs, and she's like, "Who is that?" And then you're like, "Oh, it's my favorite band." And
See,
then-
that's why I feel guilty because my ex introduced me to this guy's music. Like, that's what I was kind of getting to. Is I
No,
wonder.
I don't think.
Today is gonna be the day that we're gonna bring it back to you.
I don't think that I don't
I
think
said
she knew.
maybe.
I don't think she knew, but the funny thing was when she posted the Instagram picture of them holding hands, it was just no name, nothing's tagged, but I saw like the star tattoo right there, and it said like Brandon. I immediately was like, "Is this bitch with Tommy Lee?" Shut
up.
What the? And I texted her.
And you
I
started
was-
weeping again. You're like,
Oh my
they lost the poison.
Poison. No, I don't think she knew. I don't think she had any idea at all. But you know, it's
Well, now you can get tickets.
you would think. I want him on my
They're
podcast.
not on tour, are they?
No, but he's there. He's done. They're just chilling, man. They got a fucking life. I feel like they're always on vacation.
He's always DJing, isn't he? He's
Yeah, I
DJing.
think so,
He's always
but
in
he
Vegas.
DJs?
Yeah, he's in Vegas
I don't
DJing
know.
pool parties.
Yeah, he's like a dubstep DJ.
Yeah.
I think Nikki Sixx is the hot one. He's hot as fuck.
I think they're all attractive in their own way.
Yeah.
You know, except for Mick Mars. Mick is the guitarist. He's got like
Yeah.
spina bifida, and
Yeah.
he's just like all crinkly looking. But yeah, dude, it's funny. Like he's 60, and she's 31, and it's
crazy.
it's insane. But like I said, it's
You're happy
like,
for her.
I'm very happy for her. I still talk to her. Not on the regular.
Yeah.
Since she got with him, it's definitely we don't talk that often.
Yeah.
And I talk about this on my podcast because we always talk about music. So, like, we talk about relationships. I'm just like, Burr, anytime I bring it up, like, he just laughs. It's because it's so funny to him.
Of course.
And like I said, it's just.
Especially for you, because you love music so much in general. Like, you're just such a music guy. And for your ex to end up with him.
I'm going to talk about it on stage. I'm going to find a way
have
to
to.
make
Have
it funny.
to.
I remember I mentioned it once just by saying my ex-girlfriend's married to Tommy Lee, and that got a big laugh. Just the idea
You
of
could
it.
talk about it in the sense that I don't mean this as this is like from a comedic perspective, not
Please.
a dig at you, but like, it's kind of like you're like the the Tommy Lee if he wasn't famous. Like, to me, you guys are kind of similar in the sense, like, you both have the rock star look, you have the tattoos, you sing in a band, you put together the goddamn comedy jam. Like, you kind of wanted to be the rock star, so she kind of like practiced on you to learn how to get like
That's
the
true.
real one.
That's
There's
definitely
something
true.
funny about
I'll figure it out. I think it wouldn't be malicious, the joke,
No.
whatever I do.
No.
It's just, but I think it's just.
But
like,
you have your right to be doing
100%.
make whatever you want.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee is so known for having like a massive dick too. You could say you're like you have the exact same dick as Tommy Lee or something like.
I wish. I wish I had his penis, but I don't think I could. I don't want to. No, I don't even know. Like, I'm 5'9" on a good day, so the idea to have like the Tommy Lee size dick would just be disproportionate to my body.
There's such a thing as too big.
Really?
I've had some that hurt.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the biggest dick you've ever had inside of you?
This stripper in Vegas. Remember that guy Renee
Yeah.
brought to the show?
No, I don't.
Renee.
I wasn't there.
Renee Garcia.
Okay.
He introduced me to some dude in Vegas. Actually, I hooked up with
Big
only
Dick
one.
Daryl. Meet Jack and Kate.
He was a stripper. I was so embarrassed. I can't believe I fucked him, but he looked just like Magic Mike, and he had the moves. And the first night I didn't do it. I was like, I'm not fucking a stripper. I'm not fucking a stripper. And then the second night, I was like, okay.
I'm fucking a stripper.
But he had the hugest dick I have ever seen, like to the point where it
Like
was a little
this?
painful.
Are we talking like from
I don't
my,
know,
from
10
my
inches
elbow
maybe?
crease?
I don't know.
Wow.
And it
That's
was
a big dick.
big.
10 inches.
Big dick.
It was so
From
big.
a white
it
guy
hurt.
too.
I use white.
It hurt.
Was he white?
Yeah, he was white.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty great.
I fucked him one time. And then actually I was embarrassed because I asked him if he listens to podcasts because I won't fuck anyone who might listen to this podcast. And he's like, never, no, I don't do podcasts, whatever. And then I talked about it after and said that it kind of hurt because it was so big. And then he listened to the podcast.
Of course he did.
I was so embarrassed.
And you retweeted it.
Yeah, you were like, he tweeted it out. He's like, yep, yo, I punctured another uterus, guys, with my big dong. Come see me this Friday night at the Sapphire in the small room where we're doing Quigley Down Under.
in the small room.
Down Under Thunder, whatever the fuck it is.
Josh, I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, before we go, because we're running out of time, talk about your new podcast because it's so cool.
Thank you. It's called The 500. It's a record book club using the greatest recorded music in the history of mankind. I'm going through Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums. I sit down with huge comedians, actors, and musicians. They listen to the record, and then I break the record down and use the song meaning and the facts from the album as like a roadmap to interview them. And
So cool.
it's great, man. We just signed a deal with Spotify, and it's getting good numbers now, but they're gonna help it really get us out there. And I've never been happier doing something. It's like,
It's brilliant.
Thank you.
It's such a good idea.
It's just it's like there's so much music that we don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like especially people look at me and they're like, "Oh, well, you probably know everything," and I'm like, "Dude, I listen. I know like
I've never thought you know everything. Just for
about
the record.
music. I meant specifically music.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
But you would assume, like, that's the thing is that my buddy Angelo, who's no longer with us, used to just school me because I never knew certain bands, certain albums, and he died in 2012, and I probably when I started working on myself, I just was like, I want to be moved every day. I want to feel as human as possible. And musically, I had just always listening to the same shit. I wasn't experiencing anything. And so I saw the list and I was like, I'm going to listen to an album a day. And I started posting about it on Soch. And Jim Jeffries like reached out to me and he was like, dude, the Stone Roses record is my favorite record of all time. I've got all these stories. Oh, it just brings back so many memories. And then it was like that moment where you're like, oh my God, that's the podcast
So
that I
cool.
have to do. And then it's been literally since I came up with the idea in, I think like June, July. It's just I've just been working on it nonstop, and I'm really excited to see
I
it
love that
grow
you're
and-
counting down too. And aren't you counting
that's
down?
well, that's the
from
thing, yeah.
500?
But that's the thing, Kate, is that like if I started at 1, everybody knows those records. Like I even kind of know some of them. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but this was about me really finding out about shit I had never heard of. And by going, also.
Oh, wait. So are you starting at the
500.
last? Oh, you're
At
starting
500,
at
which
I
was
thought that
Outcast
you were
Equipment
just
Eye.
counting down episode number wise. I didn't realize you were counting down the actual list.
It's 500 was Outcast
Interesting.
Equipment Eye, and then it's 499 and so on and so forth.
So wait, do you have to find someone who knows that record, or do you assign someone the record?
It's both ways. So
Okay.
if I can, like I have, like what I'll do is, because sometimes it's hard. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, all right, well, who the fuck knows
That's
Gang
what
of
I
Four?
mean. Right.
And I can only search for so long. But then there's like comics, like I had Karen Kilgariff because I just wanted to sit down and talk to her, and so I gave her that record. But the thing is, we both became fans of Gang of Four.
That's what I think is kind of cool. Yeah, you could even introduce the record to people.
It's an introduction. I can't tell you how many people have messaged me with thank you for doing this, because I never would have heard Steve Earle, or I never would have heard Mott the Hoople. And that's the way I feel, because I love everything. Like, I'm not, this is not some pretentious show where we're like really being like, critical about something. I'm enjoying it. If I don't like something, I say it, but I'm literally there to experience, because I think, as you guys know, there is no better feeling than when you find that song that gets into your soul and it just sits there, and then everything in your life is better, where you're just happier because you can't wait to listen to it. And that's what I want America and the world to do, along with me, is just to put this music in front of you. Listen to the podcast. It's incredible. I spend a lot of time working on it, and I think it shows, and I think people are really gravitating towards it.
Yeah,
so
it's awesome.
Thank you, darling.
I'm happy for you. You're welcome. Well, guys, we're out of time. Sadly, Jack has to pick up his child from school, so he has dad duties.
Dad duty.
But Josh, I love you. Thank you for coming and
My
doing
pleasure.
this.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, follow Josh. Check out his podcast. Follow Jack.
Thank you.
And we'll be back next time. Bye.
All right, boogie.
You were great,
See you.
man.
Great.